Hello everyone, my name is Chris Takao and welcome to a tutorial where I'm going to be showing you how to build a better house in Minecraft, following some simple tips and tricks as well as some basic guidelines that will hopefully help you build a better house and have something that ends up looking either something like mine or something that you're happy with. And let's just get right into it. Alright, so the first basic guideline that we're going to be covering that you should always pay attention and when starting your build is shape. So let me just lay out something that we don't usually want to do, and excuse me, Mr. Cow, is just a basic little box. I mean, you can also have a basic big box either way. It just wouldn't be good because you can see here, I mean, it's three-dimensional, but I mean, it doesn't have enough to it. It's too simple, I guess you could say. And what we want to do instead of just a normal box is have multiple boxes extruding from it, adding a bunch of detail, adding depth, adding kind of what we need to have it look more like a house instead of just a big box. And what we can do to simply get around solving that issue is building a box again, but then adding onto it, adding things that you think might look good, where you'd want it to extrude, where you wouldn't want it to extrude. So you can start off with a rectangle if you are not used to doing something like this, following this kind of ideology, and then you can just build out from here. So let's say I want to have a little bit of an extrusion here, and we can just do that. Just set out your basic outline here and say maybe I want to have it go out a bit more here. So we just have it go out a bit more here. Excuse me, Mr. Chicken. And then just basic things that will ultimately give your build a bit more life. So say right here, we could extrude this out a bit for a potential balcony later on in the future. All these little things will eventually go together to give your build a lot more depth and shape and life. And then once you have your basic outline, we're going to want to build up the walls and continue with that shape, because as you can see, it already looks better than that. Even if we added a roof on that, it wouldn't be the same as this. So just remember, just take a rectangle and basically, guys, just add more rectangles to it, and eventually with enough practice you'll be able to just build a house that you're happy with. So I'll see you guys once I finish building up these walls. Alright, so now that we got the basics kind of walls set up here, we're going to want to think about how high and low certain things are going to be, where we want our roofs. Perhaps we want a tower here, a balcony over there like I mentioned, maybe a lower roof here that runs into the tower, and maybe something in the center. But I mean, before we go into detailing and overthinking these things, you have to get that basic shape. That is so important to a house. I cannot stress that enough. So just jump right into it. Don't really be too hesitant with anything. So say we want a tower here. I mean, it's just a shape right now. There's no big deal. We're going to detail it later on, right? So you don't really have to worry about getting all those fine-tuning parts. Just kind of create a quick sketch, I guess you could say, of what you want to do. And it's just, of course, it's going to look ugly in the beginning, right? But then later on, we're going to add all of these things that are really going to contribute to make this a very nice build. Now, this is not normally how I like to build a house, but this is the best way to teach you guys, in my opinion, on how you should build a house. It's just starting off with the shape, and this is kind of just a simple kind of hands-on way for you guys, or I guess eyes-on. You can't actually be here, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's a simple little thing. And then, of course, we'll replace all of this down the road. But for now, we got a tower. And then, sorry, I'm a bit sick. And then maybe we want a little bit of a doorway here. Maybe we want this actually extruded a bit more. All these little things, you can just kind of go along and you're just making that basic sketch of the house. Right. And then perhaps you want to have a little bit of a roof outline. Say you want a roof right here. Just a nice little simple roof, just like that. And then perhaps a door right here. Let's make it a big door. How about a big door? Just like that. Don't even have to worry about anything right now. Not a care in the world. It's fine. And then maybe we want to... this is a tough one. Roofs are actually the hardest part of building a house, and I'm going to touch on it a lot more later on with just more detail. But for now, I would say don't even try to connect everything. I'm just going to add a little bit more here to separate from the wall, adding a bit of depth. Make it the same height as this other roof. But just on any side where it kind of sticks out in your design that you've made, try to add a bit of a roof. Something like this. So eventually this will run into this roof design, and this can go all the way across. I guess we could do that now. Now you are welcome to follow this step by step, but I wouldn't recommend it just because it's not about like you guys doing this block by block, but instead getting something out of this video and hopefully learning how to build that better house in Minecraft through this little course, I guess you could call it. Alright, and then right here, because it's extruding again, I would recommend another roof. Just on all those protruding sides in your house, just kind of add a roof. Or perhaps a flat little area that's like a little balcony. We can add a balcony here like I was talking about. And you can see already we have a really nice shape to this house. Oh, we still got a we still got a little bit of an opening here, a little crack in the house. I guess a big crack actually. Yeesh, look at that. That would not be good to live in. I don't think so. Alright, there we go. You can see, look at that. I mean, the tower might be a bit, you know, overwhelming, but, you know, it's just the shape. We're getting a rough idea of what we want. And just like that, first try, no big deal. I'm just following this little basic shape first guideline that I'm giving you guys, and this is what we ended up with. Alright, so now that we've got the basic shape down, and I'm pretty happy with it, we got the roofs and the tower and the entrance and the two little balconies on the back side there, we're going to move on to our next major guideline, which is depth. And no better way to start off with a build with the ideology of depth than with columns. And with columns, I think I'm going to go with a spruce log, I think, or just some kind of darker tone to kind of get rid of this really light, because if we did something like this, it would all just start to blend together. So I'm going to use a spruce log, and we're just gonna build up on all of the corners. Don't really worry yet about the fine details. We're not quite there. We still got to get this basic parts of the house done. So now that we have the pillars built up, we're going to want to start to take away some of the wood, because right now it's a very blocky build. So let's say we want to do something in here. We want to get rid of these because this isn't working. Want to add a little bit more there. This was depth that was already here. I'm just replacing some of it, kind of going with this pillar theme we got going on right now. And try to use multiple different blocks. We'll cover that more in the detail section of the video, but try to use different colors of blocks, different tones of browns. I guess this is all brown, but different tones. Trying to think if there's anything else we want to do as far as depth, because depth and detail kind of contribute with one another, at least for what I'm going to be doing. Oh, what the heck. Alright, so the next little thing we're going to be doing is detail. It's actually a pretty big thing. It's going to be like a large section of the house, but we're going to want to start adding some windows, some stairs, all sorts of things. It's going to make it look really nice. It's going to give the build a bit more depth, but at the same time, detail is required to add the depth, so I don't really know how to say it. It's a detail depth thing. Yes, that's genius. That you're doing great, Chris Cow. Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, so add some windows, maybe there. I'm just gonna put stairs down on the side to look like a little bit of a base to the house. Okay, so now that we got a little bit of windows outlined, I guess we can put some glass in, and then we're gonna go on to working on detailing the walls. And if you do use blocks like I'm using, don't put them like this. That's the exact opposite of depth. I don't see any depth here. It's just a flat wall. But here, it allows for a little bit more depth. It looks better. It kind of, I mean, depth. That's all I have to say. I don't really know how to go into more detail. It looks better. Wouldn't you agree? I'm great at this. I am wonderful at tutorials. This is going splendidly. And if you guys want to see a video of me making the interior, let me know down in the comments, because I will probably be doing that in the future. Okay, so now that we got the windows in, let's continue with the wall design. And what I think I'm gonna do is just scroll through all the blocks that you have and just look for anything that you think might look good on a wall. I like to use trapdoors because it's the only like thing. Maybe not here. I might put them on the pillars. It's the only thing that allows us to have depth vertically, if you know what I'm talking about. Like slabs and everything are horizontal, but when you put on trapdoors, it goes for a bit of a vertical depth. I did not mean to do that. We'll just pretend that didn't happen. And let's say maybe fences. So we could just add fences. I did this on my mansion on the CakeCraft server. Let's add some spruce fences. We don't need the glass anymore. Let's see, some spruce stairs. I like spruce wood. I think this is going well. Is this going well? No one. I really don't know, honestly. We use some slabs. Let's see. Anything that kind of gives a window vibe to it, you know, like an archway I'm gonna make right here. You see, just that, even that's beautiful. It's simple. It's amazing. It's so elegant. Like, oh my gosh. I mean, what more could you ask for? Maybe. Oh gosh. Here's some of that. Is that good? I don't know. I've never used the. No, stop making noise. Just trying to add depth, but in a way that will not over detail everything, because I could just add stairs like everywhere and just fill everything in, and it will take away from the basic shape of the house. Now I think that looks fine. We don't want to overdo it like I just said, so let's just continue with this design all the way around the house. I'll see you afterwards. Alright, so I finished up detailing all of the walls around the entire house. 360 degrees, people. It didn't take that long. It was pretty easy. Now, we can talk about what I did when it wasn't this exact shape. Like, for example, here. I just tried to incorporate the same designs, and I encourage you guys to do the same. Just, it's not going to be exact. I mean, unless you literally, like, made it so it was, like, every in and out was, like, the same depth thing. Yeah, I don't know, but for most cases it's not going to be exactly the same, so just try to incorporate the same ideology. So you got the stairs, up the stairs here, fences, note blocks, window. But then I didn't include this because I couldn't fit it, and the design wasn't the same, so I just came up with something else that followed the same sort of divot, and I did that for all of it. And then when there wasn't a window, you just do whatever feels right, you know. And then I also saved the balcony for us to do, so that's just what I'm gonna work on right now. This is actually really tricky because when I try to place anything, it just is a full block. So I guess we can try to do some stuff. I want to add a door, so, and a door on the inside. All of it. Just remember, depth. And after this balcony, we're going to do roof designs. We can talk about how that can go many ways. My God, it is terrifying how much you can mess up a roof. But luckily, I'm here. It's me out of everyone. Yes, I know. I'm the greatest tutorial master of all time, because we all know how well my last tutorial went. But all right, I mean, I'm satisfied. Okay, I literally just added a window and a door, but you know what? Yippee, I did it. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Okay, so roof design, like I said, it can go many ways, and it can totally change the characteristics of the house. You can have a really steep roof, which makes the entire house look like it's steep. It's pointing upwards, sort of. Or you could have a very flat roof, like a desert-styled house. And it all depends on the environment you're in and what you want, what you're looking for, and your tastes. Now, generally, I go with a curved sort of roof, and I can show you what that looks like right now. And there we go. You got a little curved design right here. But then say you are going to go really abstract. This doesn't fit this whatsoever, but we could do it just for the sake of learning. You want a flatter roof. Still slanted, but a bit flatter. Now this works. If you want to shape your house like this, you have to think about that. You have to think about how the shape of the house is going to be coinciding with the roof, or else obviously you can see here it wouldn't work. I have the house shaped right now for a slanted or diagonal roof, and let me show you what a diagonal roof looks like. I think we all know because we've gotten on a computer and played Minecraft before. I mean, at least I hope, but if not, I mean, welcome to the cult. Alright, so you can see one is a bit more basic and the other one's a little bit more pro, but not by much. And I highly recommend adventuring out into this sort of building if you haven't already. And then something else we can do that works better with slanted roofs is make it even more slanted, but like in a different way, if you know what I'm talking about. That looks pretty good. Something like that. Perhaps no, that's god awful. Never mind. There. Maybe you want it just pointing out a bit. And that's definitely something that I would recommend with a slanted roof. Well, there we go. We got two little designs here, and then something else you might want to do sometimes. Add a bit of an overhang, and then make it stick out a bit for more depth. Alright, so we got two beautiful examples here. Honestly, either one looks pretty good. I think for me, I'm probably... It's actually kind of a tough call. How about we do a bit of both? Honestly? Yeah. I'll do slanted for the tower. And you can do the same thing. Experiment, people. I heavily encourage experimentation. That is what this is all about. So I'll see you guys when I have a bit of an outline. So my plans are to have a slanted roof here, and the top slanted roofs, but I'm just going to do the outline. I'm not going to connect it because I want to show you guys how to do that, because often people have trouble with connecting the roofs together. So I'll see you when I have those outlines. Alright, so I have all the roof outlines done, and now I'm just going to be able to show you how to connect them all, which is actually, on this house, pretty simple. Oh, I forgot the tower roof design. Okay, hold on. Okay, there we go. The tower roof is done, and as you can see, I also added a bit more pillaring here with some stairs for a bit more detail, and then we're also going to work on this little section in a bit, probably following a little bit of the same design here. Well, but we'll do that right after we connect these roofs. So we can start off with the tower, I guess. We're just going to push them in a bit. I mean, unlike here where you actually have to connect the stairs together and keep with that little design. We'll worry about that in a bit. But what you're going to want to do is just follow through with the outline that you have created. With the stairs, with the blocks, with everything. Just follow through until you run into something. Basically, that's it. That's all you got to do is just follow the outline until you run into something and it looks decent to your liking. And now it looks like it's a part of the house. Look at this. It's all coming together now. It's beautiful. I love it. Don't you love it? I mean, yeah, let me know in the comments. All right, now for the part that people struggle with a little bit, and I have always been decently good at it, I guess, or maybe I just don't remember when I was bad. I've been playing Minecraft for too long. But you're just gonna wanna, especially when we already have the shape outlined like this, just follow that shape outline that we have created for ourselves. And I guess on top, we can add some slabs. But generally, when people struggle is when they create some insane, like, shape. either took it too far or didn't, and it ends up looking amazing. You just have to know how to do it. It is when that happens and you can't fit it together properly. The roofs just don't align, and it's messy and it's gory, and yeah, you truly have to be a master to do it, I guess. I mean, I've never truly run into that scenario, but with this, it's much more simple. We're just following the outline, following it and connecting it, and all of that. It's glorious. And then I suppose this can be a bit of trouble sometimes when you run into your design right here, and just don't overthink it. Just cover it up. It's no big deal. Unless you don't want to cover it up, if you can find a way around it, then sure, good for you. Would you look at that? It literally looks like, I mean, you could, oh, wait, the tower. That's actually going to be the hardest part. But besides that, it looks almost finished. I would say, I mean, if you're just strolling up, it looks pretty nice. It's coming together, but we still have 2 more phases to put this house through. But let's finish up the roof up here first before we talk about those phases. So following the design in, but this is a tower, so things might get a little bit more complicated towards the peak, because we could just have it run straight in, but then it's not a peak. It's just flat. So I'll get to that when we get there. Just give me a second. All right, so our roofs are now at the very tippy top, and if you want to do this and just run it off at the end, just have it kind of topped off just like this, congratulations, good. That's amazing. It's all about preference here, guys. Whatever you want to do it. But in my opinion, I mean, yeah, it actually does look pretty good, but I would like a point, maybe a flag at the top and all that, a little bit of detail here and there. So what you do is you're just going to want to bend everything upwards. So you can see I'm just adding blocks here to put stairs on either side and creating that slope upwards. And this is something that will definitely come in time. You'll learn a bit after doing it a few times. But just creating that slope, if you want to have a point, is pretty important. All right, and then continue gradually going upwards. And this might look a little bit complicated, but I hope that the way I'm explaining it is at least a little bit helpful. And then you got your little cute peak. Maybe you want it a bit steeper at the top. Put a block. It's all about preference. And then maybe some fences. Flagpole. Yeah, too lazy to put a flag. I guess that's fine for now. But you can see that added a little bit more weight to it. Might look a little bit top heavy. Kind of looks like a hat. We're fine. It's fine. This would look better on a bigger tower, but it's fine. So you can see now it looks more like a tower with that little bit of curve. And all we had to do was just slant it up a bit. Just make it a little bit of a slope in the corners and on the main edges, on the tips of our roofs. And then just connect it all in the center, make it pointy, add a little flagpole there, and we are done with the roofs. Now let's just make this wall design real quick. Let's just add some windows here. Oh yeah, you always want windows in your tower. Alright, and then perhaps some stairs, spruce for a little bit of contrast. Then also some trap doors. Alright, and then after trap doors, let's see what we added down here. Alright, and the note blocks. It's pretty nice to have a running theme throughout your build. You want to like you wouldn't want to add like pink wool up here or something, you know. Try to stick with what you've done, but in maybe a different way. Maybe you know what I'm saying. I hope you know what I'm saying. And there we go. Got a nice little tower. And the final sort of thing, actually not final, there's 2 more things. And the first one that we're going to cover that I love, just makes everything just beautiful, is life. And what I mean by life is it's in 2 senses. Life as in adding leaves, but also life in the sense that the build looks like it's not just still in time. It looks like something's going on. It looks like, say, we were in an urban area. You have a car driving by, maybe with a little smoke coming out the back. Or Aurora Manor, if you haven't seen that time-lapse, link in the description. If I remember, the snow was flying off of the towers. The snow was flying everywhere. The trees were a bit bent. Everything, it looked like, I guess it was frozen in time, but it looked like something was happening. The build was alive. That's what I mean. So flowers, grass, leaves, but also we can try to incorporate something that will give the build life. Let's just get right into it. So I'm going to grab some leaves. All right, so you just kind of make it look like vines are just coming down all over the place. This is totally random. This is however you would want to do this. Again, it's your build, your life, literally. And you just add it wherever. This, you can see already, this is just adding that extra color we need. That's why life is extremely important. And the green really makes it pop. So I just love to add a little bit of vines everywhere, making it look overgrown. Perhaps hanging off the sides of the roofs on some sides. And the little crevices everywhere. Just like this. And then I'll see you guys afterwards when I've put all the vines in, and then we can move on to some flower pots and some smaller details of life. Alright, and I finished up adding the leaves around the entire house, and you might notice that the house looks a little bit different. We've added a few more things, and unfortunately, I am recording this for a second time because the file for the video where I created that farm and the garden and the chimney in the background did not save. So I'm just going to go over what I did and explain to you why I think it's a good idea to add these things. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, so first, the farm. I think the farm is actually pretty important, and it's actually pretty useful if you are in a survival world. It really allows the house to kind of become a part of the land. It's living off the land. It's not just, the house isn't just plopped down anymore. Same with the garden. Both of them kind of make the house look more settled, looks like something's actually going on. And then the chimney makes it look like someone's living in the house. Someone has a fire right now. All of these things that make the build look alive. It gives it that life with the leaves, with the garden, with the farm, with that smoke and everything. So that is it for life. And the next thing we're going to talk about is style. Now, what I mean by style is this is a medieval styled house. You could have an urban styled house. You could have a modern styled house. You could have a futuristic styled house. And then you could make up any kind of style of house you want. But you can add style to a style of house, like your own style. You know what I mean? Like, this is a medieval styled house, but then you can add whatever you like, something to leave your own mark, if that makes any sense whatsoever. And I guess I've shown you that throughout the video. That is a sort of, it is a running theme so far. I mean, I just haven't mentioned it, but this house looks like a house that I would build. I don't know if other people build like this, but it is my style. The way I added the leaves, the way I did the chimney, I usually add a garden on the side, I usually make a little river flowing. All these kinds of things are things that I do. And as you build more and more, you will start to develop your own style. And overall, I think this video is just hopefully going to be really helpful for you. And if you even got one thing from it, then I have accomplished my goal. So if you did enjoy this episode, or tutorial, I guess you could say, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.